guys, so today I'm going to be filming my CHING number 16 video. Excuse me, I'm putting some lotion on my hands. My hands are so dry. In all honesty, when I woke up this morning, I did not feel like filming anything. It's Friday and I didn't even go to any yard sales today. I don't even really want to talk about this so much because I don't want to cry. But today is actually my mom's 5-year anniversary since she passed away. It was 5 years ago today, and I haven't felt like doing anything. Always like the days leading up to that day, I'm like, I just don't, I just get down in the dumps and I really don't want to start crying right now because I want to film this video. But yeah, I just did not feel like doing anything, so I decided to take a bubble bath, and I thought maybe I'd feel a little better afterwards. So I'm gonna like try and have as much of a normal day as possible, aside from the fact that I didn't go yard selling, and she's probably yelling at me right now, telling me like, why didn't I go? I should have went. I should just, keep doing the things that I love to do, but it's hard and it just does not get any easier as the years go by. But I'm going to attempt to just, have as normal of a day as I can, because moping around and crying is just making me feel worse. So anyway, we are heading into CHING number 16. I have about like 40 some items that I want to go over that I sold recently. So let's just start off with the first item. Was a vintage Sassy magazine. Sassy magazine is no longer, made or distributed. I think it ran from, oh goodness, I think it was even before the 80s, but I think it was more popular in the 80s and early 90s, I want to say. But yeah, if you ever come across Sassy magazines, especially I think the Kurt Cobain issue, and I feel like there might be another one. Oh, the very first issue, which I did have that and I sold that a long time ago. But anyway, like regardless, if you see vintage Sassy magazines, I would pick them up. Vintage magazines in general, people buy them not just for the magazine itself, but there's also people who cut out the old advertisements and actually sell those advertisement pages as auctions and sell them. So like, you take one magazine, you can get like so many advertisements out of just one magazine, if that's like something that you are interested in selling. I don't personally do that, but if I find vintage magazines, then I tend to pick them up. I was down in my basement yesterday going through a tote that I have down there that I completely forgot about, and I found an old Glamour magazine from 1960. So I'm gonna get that listed up and see how that does. But regardless, this Sassy magazine sold for $20.49, so not too bad. I'm probably got it at a yard sale for less than $1, so that's awesome. Next we have this was a macrame hanger, so you would put like a potted plant in these and hang them up. These were really popular, I want to say in the 60s or 70s, I'm not quite sure. But they are really making a comeback. It seems like macrame is really in right now. People are starting to actually make these again and getting into it. I know I have a Facebook friend who's been making a lot of macrame things with her sister and seems to be having a lot of success with that. So definitely any like vintage or newer macrame items I think are probably pretty hot right now, along with like succulents and stuff like that. So this macrame hanger, I got it at a thrift store. I think I paid $1.99. It sold for $12.99. Not a whole lot, but I mean, it didn't have any like beads in it and stuff. At least I don't think it had beads in. But there was one I just got at a yard sale that has these like ceramic owls in that I hadn't showed you guys yet because I was trying to clean it up. But I'm going to get that one listed soon. Next we have a Pendleton skirt. I think I mentioned it might have been my last CHING video where I was mentioning Pendleton items. Wool Pendleton items specifically I think seem to sell better than other Pendleton items, and this skirt was wool and it sold for $13.99, which isn't crazy, but it wasn't like a real thick wool, and you know, it was just a blue one. I don't know, I feel like my red, when I find like the buffalo check, like the red and black, that color combination seems to sell, I think, really well. But yes, on to the next. A New Kids on the Block mug. This was just a plastic New Kids on the Block mug. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid a quarter or 50 cents for it. It sold for $19.99. Some New Kids on the Block items are very collectible and can go for a good amount of money. So if you weren't aware of that, just check eBay right now. New Kids on the Block sold highest first. You can find out which specific things are going for what they're going for. But me personally, I was obsessed with New Kids on the Block when I was a little girl. They were like, you know, my boy band group from my time, and I had so much New Kids on the Block stuff, so when I see it, I'll buy it regardless, just because, you know, it stirs up all those memories of being a kid and loving New Kids on the Block. I mean, I had everything New Kids on the Block when I was little. Even going to school, I had my backpack, my lunchbox, just cups, you know, like the drinking mugs, everything. Next we have this was a vintage swimsuit, and it was by a company called, oh, I'm gonna butcher this, Benger Rabana. I'm not quite sure what country that originated from, but I don't think it was a US company. And it was hard trying to find anything by this brand when I was trying to Google it before I sold it, because I like to look up things and research them before, you know, I sell them to make sure I'm getting what, like how to price this stuff. And all I was really seeing was like vintage advertisements and stuff like that. I got this at a yard sale. I think I paid $1 for it, possibly less, and it sold for $22.99. I have sold other vintage swimsuits before. They do sell. Just the only thing I could say to be careful with is just stretch into the elastic, like stretch it out and make sure that the elastic in it, especially around the legs and the arms, isn't rotted, because elastic is like one of the first things to go with vintage clothing. So just, you know, kind of give it a test of stretching it out and make sure the elastic is still good. Let's see, we got I just put like lots of this type of stuff together, like the crafting cross stitch type kit lots. You guys might have remembered I purchased a just big box full of needlepoint like crafting kits at a yard sale. I think I paid $15 for it, and I made way over my profit back on it. I made my money back and lots of profit off of it, off of just a like one kit. I think I remember I sold for a really decent amount. So with the rest of it that wasn't really worth like a ton to list separate, I just lotted it together in just little lots that in my mind went together. Like I had a lot that was like, you know, more religious, and then I had a lot that was like based on flowers and buildings and stuff like that, just to kind of keep it together and get it out. I think I might have a couple more lots available, but I don't even know. That's the thing. And I had just seen on Lavender Clothesline's Instagram page the other day, I was looking at her Instagram, and she was talking about being like a long tail reseller, and I feel like, and I had commented, like I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about that too much. It seems like some people who aren't resellers just think that like you buy something, you list it, and it's sold right away, and that's not the case. Sometimes you can buy something, it's listed a day, it could be listed a week, it could be listed a month, it could be listed a year, it could be listed 2 years. Like, things can sit for a while before they sell. So, you know, if you think that you bring something in, like if you think I haul something, list it, and it sells right away, that is not the case. And I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about that, but that's why, like I mentioned with, I don't even know if I have any more of them cross stitch kits, because I lose track mentally of my inventory. Like, the stuff is listed, I know where it's at, but the other day I sold something and Eric was like, oh, you sold this, and I was like, wait, I have that? Like, I didn't even realize it was still in my inventory, kind of thing, because it's been listed for so long, but it's sold, so that's what matters. Next we have a L'Occitane. This was a verbena and lemon kind of little perfume that sold for $22.99. You guys know I love perfume. I will buy pretty much everything when I see perfume. It's very rare that I let it sit. There might have been times that I have, and then there are times that I have and I kick myself for not getting it. So here lately, if it's perfume, I just buy it regardless. So that's that. Next was a Barbie. This was like a notepad slash journal. You could use it for whatever. It had blank lined sheets inside. That sold for $9.99. I got it at a yard sale. I had it for a while because I was going to use it and then I never did. So I just ended up selling it. I sold a vintage ashtray. This kind of had like a pirate ship looking old ship on it. That sold for $15.99. I feel like some ashtrays sell and then other ashtrays I have just sit and no one seems to want them. So I'm kind of picky when it comes to picking up ashtrays here lately. Next I sold a pair of CORCORAN black combat, these were called jump boots. They sold for $49.99. So that was a good sale. I don't remember how much I paid for these. I know it wasn't a lot. I think I got them, I feel like I got them at a yard sale. So anytime you find like military style combat boots, like I would pick them up because literally they could be going to anybody. There's lots of different styles that people have. So like, yeah, it could be going to someone who's into like military type stuff and things like that, or it could be going to someone who is just really into like punk fashion or goth fashion and stuff along those lines. So you gotta kind of keep your mind open to things like that, you know, something might not just interest one group of people, kind of thing. Next I sold, this was a Goble pin. I had recently got this at a yard sale. It was in a baggie with some other jewelry for $1, and this sold for $9.99. Oh, I sold that vintage ladies spread leg hanger, that novelty hanger that I got at a yard sale. I paid $2 for this. This had me laughing so much. I had to get it. It was so risque and so funny, and I just knew someone would get a kick out of it, and I guess they did because they purchased it and it sold for $19.99. And I love the fact that it was still new in the packaging as well, because some people really like the old vintage packaging and like to keep things in, you know, their original package. I sold a Bath & Body Works Cucumber Melon Body Glistener. So this is like, yes, Cucumber Melon is still like a scent I think that Bath & Body Works makes, but this is a body glistener. They don't make body glistener anymore. So it was an older item and it sold for $18.99, and it was also used as well. And it still sold for that amount. So I love picking up Bath & Body perfume items and also vintage Bath & Body Works items, especially the products you can't find anymore and the scents you can't find anymore. And I paid 10 cents for that, so that was a great profit there. I sold a little Coach pink wristlet. There wasn't much to this. It sold for $5.99. It was, I wouldn't say plain. I thought it was really cute, and I'm surprised it didn't, you know, sell for more than that. But it was just something that I've had for a while, and I decided to just list it up like super duper cheap so someone could get a great deal on it. So someone did snag that. Alright, next was a Greg Norman golf skirt. I had got this at Goodwill, I believe, on Dollar Day, and it sold for $14.99. I thought this was so incredibly pretty. It was an absolutely beautiful skirt. Like, definitely something you could obviously wear golfing, but even still, like, wear around. Next was, I don't know if this was a subscriber or not. So if this was a subscriber, I apologize. Someone had purchased 4 items from me. So the first was, I kind of paired them up. So the first one was an DANSKO bird bell. Erica picked this up at Goodwill. I can't remember what we paid for it. And then they also purchased a, I don't know if you pronounce this, towel or towel. It was like a salsa or dip dish that had a mother of pearl inlaid flower in it. It was so pretty. I think I got that at Goodwill as well. So for those two, it was like $40.98 combined. And then they also purchased 2 of my Hallmark Snow White dwarf mugs. There was a grumpy and a sleepy, and so then those 2 together sold for $25.98. So that was awesome to see a sale that, you know, someone had purchased 4 things. I love that because it was like 4 things right out of the house. Gotta love it. Especially like when I was talking about long tail sellers, it's like once that stuff's out, you know, you're more comfortable bringing more in and, you know, having room for your inventory, because obviously there's only so much a house can hold as far as inventory goes. So, and I'm getting pretty full, I will say. Like, it's hard, and it's like I don't go out every single day and source, and if I did, like, I'd be a hoarder. There'd be like absolutely no room in my house at all. It's starting to get overtaken. So next we have a shirt. This was by a company called Tignanello, not Tignanello. There is a purse company called Tignanello. But this is a completely different brand, and their items are pricey. Their clothing. I had never heard of them until I had found this shirt at Goodwill, and I just ended up looking up the brand, and I was like, wow, this is a brand that is expensive new, but I didn't really know if it was gonna have much of, like, you know, a high resale value. But it did sell for $22.99, which I thought was good for a top. Sometimes clothing is a hard thing to sell, so I was happy that that sold for what it did. Okay, so this is a weird sale. This was a pair of vintage Whisper Soft panties. Yes, vintage panties sell. They do not have to be new with tag, because it's not being sold as an adult item. So as long as you're obviously not modeling the underwear in your picture or making it any kind of semblance of you trying to sell them used or something like that, which people do, look in the adult section, it happens. But people buy vintage underwear, and some of it sells for so much. And I don't exactly know why. I do not know if it's a fetish thing. It may be a fetish thing. I don't know. But I also think, like, with some of the older styles, you know, there's girls, models who do like the vintage, like, pin-up kind of photo shoots and stuff like that, who may be buying stuff like that to do, you know, a photo shoot in using, you know, the authentic, original kind of vintage undergarments, if you want to say that. So I can't say for sure, but these were pretty. They were really pretty, and someone did buy them for $12.99, and I got those at Goodwill. Goodwill sells panties without tags. So, I mean, I sometimes feel kind of icky myself going through the panties at Goodwill, but I'm telling you, look up wet look panties. Your mind will be blown. And if you ever find them, don't be scared to buy them. Even if you're a dude, grab them panties. It don't even matter if people are gonna think that you're gonna wear them yourself. You buy them and you sell them. Wash them first though, please. Let's see, next we have a pair of Clarks sandals. These were their Privo line. Clarks has all different kinds of lines. They have the Artisans, they have Privos, they have Clarks Collection. There's just all different kinds of a line to their shoes. And for me personally, I think I've said before, I prefer the Artisan line just because they're just so beautifully well made, usually leather, like all leather, and just gorgeous shoes. But these sold for $15.99. I tend to pick up Clarks no matter what, as long as they're, you know, at a decent price for me to resell. I probably got those for $1 at a yard sale. Next was a Beverly Feldman purse. I recently purchased this at a yard sale for $4 and it sold for $50 to a subscriber. So that was really awesome. I was just naturally drawn to this purse because it was so pretty. I had never, like, at the time, I couldn't even make out the name of the maker, but I was just like, I have to get this purse because it was just so, so pretty. And it ended up being, Beverly Feldman is a really, like, makes really, really nice purses, and a lot of them are super expensive. So definitely if I would ever find anything else by that company, I would pick it up, and I'm sure I probably would anyway because I can just imagine it would be just as gorgeous as that purse was. So that was a great sale. Next we have a Bob Mackie shirt. I got this for, it was like maybe $1 and some change at the thrift store, and it sold for $9.99. It was very, very pretty. Also at that same thrift store, I had got these OTBT sandals. That stands for Off the Beaten Trail, I believe, or On the Beaten Trail. I don't remember. But they sold for $19.99, and again, I got them for $1. And those are kind of like slightly like orthopedic type shoes, like the comfort type shoes. Well, sandals in this case, but a lot of the times when, like, I don't recognize a brand, but they're really nice quality shoes, they tend to be expensive shoes. And I haven't done a haul of what Eric and I got yard selling last Saturday yet. I'm that behind. But there was an instance of that where I bought, well, 3 pairs of shoes, 2 of which I had never heard of before, that ended up being ho. So instinct alone here has me like, if I don't recognize a brand and they're nice quality shoes, I'm buying them. So that was kind of like how that was. Also at that same thrift store, I sold a bunch of stuff from that haul. I sold a teenage runaway dress that I got from there also to a subscriber, and I was drawn to this as well because it was such like a cute, it just reminded me, I think I said it in the video when I hauled it, that it reminded me of Courtney Love. It was just this really like proper red dress with like a lace kind of color to it, but then there were these little white skull heads all over, but you couldn't really tell from a distance that they were skulls. It was so sweet. And that sold for $15.99. Next we got a Victoria's Secret bikini. This sold for $35.99. Some Victoria's Secret items, and I know I've mentioned it before, don't really sell well. I have a hard time selling Victoria's Secret bras, which I think is crazy, but like, I can't even get people to buy them for 10 bucks. And I think that's a pretty good deal for Victoria's Secret bras. So I don't know, but swimsuits and bikinis seem to do decently, especially when you have a full set, not just a top or not just a bottom. I sold a BCBG, this was a sleeveless tank top, for $12.99. This was really pretty as well. I had tried it on because I was like, I think I'm going to keep this, but I didn't really like how it looked on me, so I ended up selling it. I also sold a pair of vintage Xena. These were those like 90s plaid shorts. They were kind of like I was going to experiment with them because in my mind I was like, yeah, someone's gonna want these because the vintage high-waisted shorts are still really in, and these had something to them kind of thing, and they did. They sold for $28, which I think is a great sale, especially considering I paid like $1 and some change. I sold this little, it was just this little oil by a company called Darphin. It was called Jasmine Aromatic Oil. I have no idea. I didn't really know anything about it. Got it at a yard sale. I probably paid like $1/4 for it. It sold for $12.99. So I think it was some sort of like maybe facial oil or something. I really don't know. I sold a pair of American Eagle Artist jeans for $12.99. Oh, that Louisville stoneware cat, the one that could hold like a little flag or flower or whatever you wanted to put in his hand kind of thing. That sold for $26. Eric and I picked that up at Goodwill. I sold a Hager planter for $19.99. I had got this at that vintage yard sale that I went to where I got everything for $1. I sold a Pekingese trucker hat. This was so cute, and this went to a subscriber, and it sold for $19.99. Oh, this was so sad. She had messaged me and told me that she had lost her Pekingese, and oh my god, I wanted to cry. I actually had a scare with my dog last week, and I was about having a fit because I don't know what I'm gonna do when I lose my dog. And it just, oh, when she told me that, it hurt me so bad because I just, I know how it is with animals. They're like people, you know what I mean? And it hurts so bad to lose your pets. So that really hurt me. But yeah, I'm hoping that she really liked the hat and got some comfort out of it. I love picking up vintage trucker hats, especially ones that just kind of pop out at me. Like I had to get this one because it was just so incredibly cute. I think I got it at a fill-a-bag rummage sale if I'm remembering correctly. Next we got a LuLaRoe. This was a Irma shirt that sold for $9.99. This was an instance I think I got it for myself, and then I ended up not liking what it looked like on me. I probably got it at a yard sale or a fill-a-bag sale. I sold this was something Eric had got. It was a vintage Vanity Fair dressing robe. It was like this green, long, velvet dressing robe. It sold for $29.99. That was kind of, sometimes Eric picks up things and I just kind of give him this look like, really? Okay, I'm not questioning you. Like, if you want to get it to resell, like, I will stand behind you. So yeah, and it sold for a decent amount. So if you ever see vintage Vanity Fair dressing robes, you might want to check them out a little more thoroughly. This next one was a Tommy Bahama shirt that sold for $18.99. This upset me because I got a feedback. It was a positive feedback, but apparently the shirt was a pajama top and I had no idea. No idea. So like, even though the feedback was positive, I still felt horrible that I sold a shirt, but not as a pajama shirt because I did not know. I got it at a thrift store, and you know, they had it in with the regular shirts. So I felt horrible as a seller for that. So if that was one of you, I apologize, and you know, if you wanted to send it back, I would have given you a full refund for that because that was my mistake. I had no idea. Next was a Portugal creamer, a Ceramica Portugal creamer. I got this at a yard sale for $1.50. It sold for $12.99. It was so pretty. Oh, I sold those Napco reindeer candle climbers. Those little taper candle climbers. They sold for $21.49. I did pay $1 a piece for them, so $2 for those I paid. Sold a pair of DANSKO shoes. These were a little different from the clogs. These actually like laced up. They were called Work Wonders. Eric and I got these at Goodwill for $7.47, and we sold them for $39.99. They were like brand new. Oh, and the last thing, and it was the biggest cha-ching, I think, out of my cha-ching number 16. We sold another set of those Pebble Blue amphora dishes. It was 6 cups and 6 saucers. Eric and I, we first found out about this brand when we went to the auction together. We purchased these same dishes at the auction, and we didn't hardly pay anything for them because no one really wants dishes anymore. Like, at least, you know, not at yard sales. People are always selling dishes at yard sales, and you know what I mean. No one really wants them. They have their own set. They've had them for years kind of thing, and that's just what they use. So we got them for like super duper cheap, sold them for insane amount of money. And then we were at a thrift store and came across them again, which I didn't think would ever happen. And yeah, so we sold these ones for $84.99. And I think we still have some more sets of this that he said he was going to be listing soon. So definitely have to get those up because they are selling great. So if you ever see this, and the amphora dishes in this print, I think they're just called Pebble Blue. Definitely keep an eye out for them because they are have been big sellers for us. So that is everything I'm going to go over for this cha-ching. When I do a cha-ching video, I'm usually like 2 cha-ching videos behind, so I still have like way more stuff to do a cha-ching video, but I don't want to make my videos like super duper long. But that's everything for this one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. You'll have to let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will see you next time.